When I first started producing, it was ironic. It was at Gramophone Records, and Andy Moy had a friend of his that was selling an MPC 2000 with not even with the effects inside. So I essentially learned how to produce, where me and DJ Sativa learned how to use the MPC, and I think actually the first track we made was related to Chronic at the time, and even my first mix CD was called Chris Don Chronic, so I think the vocal in the first track was Smoke the Chronic. But anyway, um, my ex-wife at the time had bought me the effects board, the internal effects board for the MPC. So essentially, my first production came from that, and then I stepped it up to Cubase for the PC at the time, and had a couple sound cards, a couple external pieces. We were also using the Korg MS2000 at the time, which you can use as a Neutron, and it was more like more of the experimental phase. And then there was a couple instances. There was the touring with Cisco where I decided to switch to the Macintosh computer, but the person that probably taught me the most about production was a guy named Marat, who was from Method 1111, which was a label that him and Mario J ran together. And I made the decision in 2003, and actually I know the date to the T. It was like January 3rd, 2003, that I ordered my first Macintosh computer. It arrived on February 15th, 2003, and that year for default, which was on 05/03/2003, I had to do my first live show. And ironically, the Advent and Steve Rockmod couldn't be there because of visa issues, so I actually had to do my first live show then and there. And the bulk of it was done the night before with Reno Cerrone was in my house at the time, and he was giving me lessons on like master compression and making sure that the show went off without a hitch. And I do have a recording of that, but that was the first time I ever played live. And ironically, like a lot of the buzz, were, a lot of people really didn't care that Steve Rockmod and the Advent weren't able to come because Reno did a 3-hour set that was off the hook, and a lot of people liked my live PA. But it kind of put a rift between me and my mentor because it was like me standing on my own, and in his mind, he kind of wanted it to be like I'm the performer, he is my agent, whereas like the Macintosh platform empowers you so much that anyone can just take it. And like I'm a testament to that because I literally had never used a Mac before, and in February I got my Mac, and by May was already playing live on the Metro main stage. But from there involved like the production evolved to Reactor, even though we were using it when it was called Generator and stuff. But Reactor was key to the studio. We were using MIDI controllers like the Oxygen 8, but the Korg MS2000, a buddy of mine had left over at the house. We were still using that, um, and essentially like there were phases where we used Fruity Loops. There was phases that we used Acid. There was phases that we used Reason, and we're capable at all the platforms. But for me, it was the ability to design an instrument in Reactor, output it as a VSTI, and use it in Ableton Live, render the whole thing, and then like master it in Nuendo with Waves plugins. That's essentially the only rig that I need. It's completely digital.